Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to journey back in time to uncover a tradition that literally transforms skin into sacred scripture. Let's dive right in.
So have you ever wondered, before paper was common, how were books made, especially books that needed to last for centuries? Well, today, we're peeling back the layers on an incredible tradition, the art of making Eritrean parchment manuscripts, known as Brana. These aren't just books, they're genuine time capsules, each one meticulously crafted by hand to carry knowledge across generations.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty of how these incredible books are made, let's take a step back and understand why they were made in the first place. What is it about a written record that's so fundamental to a culture's identity, to its very survival?
This idea from our source material really gets to the heart of it. Writing isn't just about sending a message, it's about preservation. It's about anchoring a community's story, making sure it doesn't just vanish with the passing of time.
You know, think about it. Oral traditions are absolutely vital and beautiful, but they're a bit like a story whispered from one person to the next. Details can shift, things can get lost. Written texts, though, they're different. They're a fixed, unchanging window, a direct line to the actual thoughts and beliefs of people who lived centuries ago.
And what you're looking at here really illustrates what makes Eritrea's position so unique. It has this rich, dual literary heritage, with ancient inscriptions in both the local Ge'ez script and in Arabic. This blend makes its manuscript culture totally distinct in the Horn of Africa.
And that brings us right to the star of our show, Brana, the remarkable material that carried all this knowledge through the centuries.
So, what is Brana exactly? Well, the word itself is just beautiful. It's the Ge'ez term for parchment, and it probably comes from the word birhana, which means light. And that refers to this luminous, bright surface that's created after the animal skin has been perfectly prepared for writing.
And get this is not some recent craft. We're talking ancient. While the Greeks were making parchment popular over in Pergamon, archaeological finds right in Eritrea show that the tools and skills to make Brana were developing here independently, almost 3,000 years ago. That's way before the famous Aksumite kingdom even rose to power.
Okay, so now for the really cool part, the actual alchemy of how you turn a raw animal hide into a sacred text. This is a journey of incredible skill, patience, and artistry.
It all starts with choosing the perfect skin, usually from a goat or a sheep. It can't be too fatty, can't be too thin. Then the hide gets soaked for days, stretched super tight on a wooden frame, and then meticulously scraped with this special crescent-shaped knife to get every last bit of hair and tissue off. The final step is treating it with rock salt and rubbing it until it's perfectly smooth and has that signature luminous quality.
And the inks? Wow. These were basically trade secrets passed down through generations. The black ink wasn't just some simple pigment. No, it was this carefully balanced mix of soot, charcoal, burned animal horn, and local plants, all held together with a binder from the sorrel tree. And the red ink was just as resourceful, made from minerals, red earth, even fruits. These weren't just colors. They were engineered to last forever.
Building the book itself was a feat of precision engineering. I mean, before a single word was written, the scribe would prick these tiny, tiny holes along the margins. Why? To create perfectly straight and visible guidelines for the text. After writing, the pages were folded into bundles called quires, which were then stitched directly to wooden cover boards using this unique and incredibly strong Ge'ez chain stitch.
And this slide just shows that process perfectly. See on the left? Those are the nested pages forming a single quire, all ready to be bound. And then on the right, you can see the final result, that distinctive chain stitch on the spine. That's the hallmark of this tradition, and it gives the book unbelievable durability.
So we've built the book. The craftsmanship is incredible, but what kind of knowledge did they actually hold? Let's explore the universe contained within these pages.
And this is so important to understand. These weren't just Bibles, not at all. They were entire libraries. They held everything a society needed. Legal codes, medical textbooks full of herbal remedies, astronomical charts, royal histories, philosophy, poetry, you name it. They were basically the encyclopedias of their day.
And the form of the manuscript often told you its function. So for the big important stuff like Bibles and histories, you had the codex, what we think of as a book. For things like protective charms, you'd have long scrolls. The accordion-folded concertina was perfect for text you needed to carry with you. And then there were tiny amulets, which were folded up and worn right on the body for personal protection.
I mean, you can see the difference so clearly here. On the left, there's a page from a big, formal codex. It's designed for study,
with its neat columns and beautiful illustrations. And on the right, that's a personal protective scroll with its magical symbols and text. It was meant to be carried close, not displayed in a library.
So how in the world do we study these priceless artifacts today? And more importantly, why is it so critical that we preserve them in our modern world?
Well, modern science gives us some amazing tools to decode these manuscripts. The first field is codicology, which is basically the archaeology of the book. A codicologist examines the physical object, the type of skin used, the recipe for the ink, the style of the binding, all to figure out how, when, and where it was made.
And the second key field is paleography. This is the study of the handwriting itself. If codicology is about the book's body, paleography is about its voice. A paleographer can analyze the shape and style of the letters to date a manuscript, sometimes with incredible accuracy, and even identify the specific scribe who wrote it.
To a paleographer, a slide like this is a treasure map. You can actually see how the Ge'ez script evolved over time. That bold, monumental style from the 14th century is totally different from the more slender, compressed script you see later on. These little changes are like fingerprints that help place a manuscript in its proper historical era.
So here's the thing that's just mind-blowing: the sheer scale of this living heritage. We're not talking about a handful of books locked away in a museum. It's estimated that over 7,000 of these incredible manuscripts still exist inside Eritrea today, many of them still in the very monasteries and churches where they were first created.
And this quote from the late Alamin Mohammed Said really summarizes why this work is so vital. It says, "The issue of heritage is an issue of national identity." Preserving these manuscripts isn't just some academic exercise. It's about safeguarding the very soul of a nation.
And that leaves us with a final thought. From simple animal skin to sacred scripture, these manuscripts are a physical link to a deep, rich history. And as our world becomes more and more digital, you have to think. Our responsibility to understand, to preserve, and to learn from these tangible pieces of our past, it becomes more profound than ever.